Hi, I'm Randy Wong. Welcome to New Website, Now What? This is a discussion about 10 tips to how to make your website better. I'm an ophthalmologist, and over the last 5 years, I've become very successful in my own online marketing efforts. Several years ago, we started medical marketing enterprises to teach other doctors and professionals how to get their websites ranked and to help them understand what SEO means and how to understand social media. We also specialize in reputation management. So, my first statement is that in 2015, any modern website needs to be a blog. Every website out there should be a blog these days. Before this revolution of everyone having a good website had great design. It looked cool, had fancy images and logos, and provided some cursory amount of information. Now in 2015, many of us who have websites are wondering, how come they're not ranking? How come they're not bringing patients or customers to the door as we thought? And that's because most websites were built for design only. They were built only to look cool, for instance. Now, it's more important to get your website to rank, so you need to understand optimization. And that's why every website needs to be a blog. A blog can have customized design, it can look cool, but a blog is designed especially to be optimized. And it's coded so that the search engines can actually read a website or a blog easier than a traditional website. So again, a blog can look great and it can be optimized. That is, it can rank higher than the traditional website. As far as social media is concerned, do you need it? In my opinion, most doctors really don't need it. If you are interested in engaging social media, don't do so. Don't do it unless you've got a website that's up, because there's nothing worse than getting attention on a social media platform, and what's the first thing that someone's going to do? They're going to look for your website, and if they can't find you, you've just shot yourself in the foot. Every website should always be under construction. That is, a great website is dynamic. It should always be changing. And I'm not talking about design. I'm talking about its content. The content should always be refreshed. So every website or your blog should be under construction. What do you think, or try your own experience? Anytime you go to a stale or static website, don't you get kind of turned off? If the website didn't help you or answer your question a month ago and it hasn't been changed, why would it help you now? Same with patients that stumble across your website. If it hasn't helped them the first time and nothing's new, they're going to get turned off. Again, you just shot yourself in the foot. If you do have an old stale website, at the very least, please update your copyright so it looks like you're paying attention. Every website must provide value. Every website that you go to provides fun for a pastime. It may give you directions. You may be looking for hours of a movie or hours of a physician's office. You may be looking for reviews about a restaurant. But every website that you visit gives some inherent value to you. Otherwise, you wouldn't go to it. Let's turn the tables a little bit. What value do you provide to your patients, to your readers on the internet as owner of the website? Well, the easiest value that you can provide is that you can provide answers to health information or health questions that your patients may have. So you should have articles that explain some of the diseases for which you remedy. You may want to explain your practice philosophy, how you would observe a situation versus recommend a procedure. There is an element called transparency. And the more transparent you are as a person and the more transparent you are as a business, the more effective you are going to be at engaging your next patient. Whatever value you provide on your website, it must be for free. So specifically in doctors' cases, I'm suggesting you write articles about disease or health maintenance, and you provide those articles or that information for free. Because after all, you are the authority. What better credible source to write about health information than a doctor? As I said before, last slide, value develops trust. As you are providing more and more value by writing more and more articles, you will develop more and more trust. And at some point, your readers are going to trust you enough to pick up the phone and decide to become a patient. And that's your goal. Through your website, you explain who you are, you provide value to build a relationship of trust, and that's how you're able to get your next patient. I talked briefly about transparency, and it's really an exercise in learning how to become relevant to your followers or your readers. Doctors traditionally market themselves by telling about what we are. For instance, I am a doctor, I'm board certified, I'm a retina specialist, I went to an awesome med school. I don't know how you could know that. I went to an awesome residency. Again, irrelevant, because even if you're a physician listening to me now, you don't really know how good my medical training was because you didn't go there. That is accentuated if you're a layman, if you're a non-medical person. All you know is that we were a doctor. You have nothing, no knowledge about board certification or the quality of the training that we had. What's much more relevant is telling patients who you are. For instance, I'm a father of five. I love to play competitive tennis. I don't play golf. I used to kickbox until my osteoarthritis made me stop. I love Dunkin' Donuts, but not Starbucks. And I'm a big dog lover. We have two Labradors. Which is more relevant to you? Ask yourself which is easier for you to remember. And again, look at it from the patient's eyes. A blog is the purest form of social media. To me, social media is really difficult to understand. So let's break it down and let's just see what happens on a blog. A blog is really a website where patients can leave comments or make remarks, leave a review. So on my blog, after every article that I write, patients are invited or readers are invited to ask questions. And if I choose to, and I always do, I will respond. So that visible conversation is really the purest form of social media. It's very powerful because subsequent readers can come and read this exchange, and it is likely to validate their own concerns if they have a similar problem or question. It also reassures subsequent readers that they've got a legitimate question or problem. Better yet, subsequent readers can get a great idea of how I deal with the problem or or what my practice philosophy is. And this is very, very valuable in terms of engagement. For your website to rank well, you have to understand content marketing. Every search engine, Google, Bing, Yahoo, compares websites or ranks websites based on the content of the website only. And the science, if you will, of marking up your content is search engine optimization. Regardless, content marketing is the only way to achieve and maintain high organic rankings with the search engines. It's the only way. It has nothing to do with click-through ads or the number of clicks that your website receives. I mentioned in the last slide something about high organic rankings. And for those of you that don't understand what I was saying, let me explain using this results page. So I Googled, if you will, retina specialist 22031. And this is the resultant page I got. And I added all the lettering in red. So there's four areas to pay attention to. Area A is the banner ad space, and this is paid advertising, and you can tell because it says ad up in the corner. Area B is also paid advertising. These are smaller ads. These medical practices paid a little bit less than the banner ads, but these are also clearly marked as ads. The organic sections are D and C. And these are organic because these are believed to be the most objective, non-biased websites that the search engine, in this case Google, has found for me when I wanted to know about retina specialists in 22031. Specifically, area D is the result of local search because I put the filter of 22031, and area C is a listing or the results of all the web pages it found. And what I'm talking about when I talk about content marketing and SEO, that's what you need to understand so that you will rank well in area C and D. Pretty much there's only three types of websites over the entire internet. For doctors, I find it that it's very appealing if they even have a website at all. So a good website is a website that just plain old exists. And I call this a resource site. A resource site, like many of your sites, hasn't been changed for several years, so therefore it's static. Because it hasn't been changed, by definition, there's no new content. So therefore it can't rank because you've got old, stale content. But it serves its purpose. It acts as a resource for existing patients. There is no way a patient looking for your goods or services, however, will find you because it won't rank with Google. So a better website would be one that markets you. So a marketing website is dynamic because now you're adding content and you're starting to rank well with Google. Ultimately, if you do this well, you'll rank in the top 10. So this now gives you marketing exposure. But the best way to get patients to come to your office are to engage them. So you're adding content on your website. You're asking patients to leave comments or ask questions after your articles, and you respond. And remember, this is a so-called a conversation or a thread. And this is very, very powerful in engaging patients and getting them to call your office and make an appointment. I mentioned search engine optimization several times. SEO is the algorithm or the formula by which search engines compare and rank websites. And our company is all about getting your website ranked. So we pay a lot of attention to content marketing and search engine optimization because your content is the most critical variable in getting your website ranked. There are three basic rules to content marketing. Your content must be relevant, meaning it answers the questions people are asking. Your website must be refreshed, and it must be done so regularly. That is to say, if you were to have 10 new articles that you wanted to publish on your website today, it would be much smarter for you to string them out, say publishing one article a week for 10 weeks versus publishing all 10 articles in one day. So the takeaway is that your website, as you're starting to realize, is your most powerful marketing tool to grow your medical practice. Every doctor, every medical practice needs to know how to do this. Unless you are planning on just simply walking away from your practice without turning it over to someone or selling it. Every modern good marketing plan has to understand your patient's needs and expectations. And in 2015, your patient's needs and expectations include that you have a website and you provide health information as well as transparency, not only about who you are, but about the way you practice. Now, what I didn't mention is that if you choose a blog format, you can move as slowly as you want. You can go from good to better, and when you're ready, go from better to best without redesign or paying anyone to help you move forward. No matter what you do, please move forward. Again, but at your own pace. All the best to you. Here's my contact information. Again, my name is Randy Wong. I'm great with email, or give me a call if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.